Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 6 of the Czech GT3 Championship. And as you can already hear, I'm another host for the series, because the original host has some issues with his internet and unfortunately can't stream the race today. For those who don't know me, my name is Lino, or Lino, or whatever you want to call it. I've heard various variations of it. So, yeah. Today I will be your host, your commentator for this race at Monza. Very special track for many. Also a very familiar track to most of the racing, or probably even all of the racing people. So yeah, I tried to inform myself as good as possible about this championship. Obviously I had to do some research when I did the trailers and stuff you've seen on this channel already. But yeah, I hope I can do it as good as my predecessor. And currently we have 16 cars on track, 2 minutes of practice left before we jump into qualifying, which will be 20 minutes in length. Then we've got the 20-minute sprint race and a 1 hour, say, endurance race, even though it's still a sprint. So pretty exciting stuff coming up, a bit different to most other formats used in sim racing leagues, especially with those kind of cars, but it's something I'm really excited for to see it on track, how it changes. There's also the success ballast in place from 1st place to 8th place. That means, for example, the winner of the last race, Marek Pribyl, I hope I can pronounce the names correctly, will get another, I think 45 kilo it is. Let me just check real quick. Yeah, 40 kilos. And then 2nd place Colin 35 kilos. Robert Ames 30 kilos, and so on. Down to 8th place. And yeah, this could really mix things up. It's not in those cars. It really makes a difference to have those ballasts, especially a track like this where you have hard braking zones and you really feel the weight. Also increasing your braking distance. Yes, Marek Pribyl, currently the leader in the championship by more than 50 points. Around 60, 70 points the lead, so doesn't matter what happens today in this race, he will still remain in the lead, but the 2 closest people in the championship, Ondrej Zetek, who also wants this championship, and Colin, have the opportunity to close in. Yeah, overall 54 points up for grabs across the 2 races. So you can really gain a lot during one day, and there's still, with this race, 4 races to go. So in the championship, say, most things are open. Even Chiri Holland, I'm sorry, still has a shot in his C4 GT3. With 110 points. So now we jump into qualifying. I think it's closed session. Open session, I mean. When it starts loading. Can take a look at the event info to see the other usual parameters. Around 20 degrees Celsius in air temperature and a bit higher temperatures on the track. But now qualifying starts. I already see 3 of the championship contenders actually. Let's see. Big Vega first out of the box. I see a few familiar names on the grid, so it's not everyone is. Oh, that's a very interesting line, Vic. Not all people are unfamiliar to me, even though a lot of them I don't really know. But yeah, let's see. Everyone just getting out of the box. Trying to heat up the tires. Also some of the new liveries and cars present. As we see on Dirk Pfeiffer's car. Pfeiffer obviously know very well. And yeah, and the new livery for the Bentley, which is finally in the GTR 3 cars. Same as with the AMG Evo. Also got another one of those, run by Adam Komorowski, which is very gorgeous. I love this green one. Looks beautiful, even though this one is also very great, with those pixelated looks on the side. Also cool to see so many different cars, to have older cars present as well, as Jiri Holan or, for example, Vadim Resheshina. I really hope no one feels offended if I mispronounce names. Just very hard to pronounce for a non-Czech guy. But yeah, also Ford GT, obviously legendary car, and yeah, very nice car. But Vic Vega should be on his first lap already. Oh, he isn't. We got back to the pits. Fortunately, my tab for the track positions don't really work at the moment. My Pavel Peter starts his Verlagen lap as well as Marek Pribyl. Adam Komorowski now also leaving the pits right in front of traffic. Now it's just a bit of a waiting game for the first laps to come in. I've got... No, it's just Adam taking the escape road. All good. Fair play. Leaving space or letting the others just come through. Oh god. Yeah, the track map doesn't work and it's completely glitched now. Why does this not unglitch? Just a quick moment. Ah, now it's done. It's a bit buggy at the moment. Probably with the new update. This didn't happen while testing, it just didn't show anything. But we see Pavel 6. Oh, somebody falling through the void, disconnecting probably. Pavel Peter should be the first one to set a lap time as it looks. Obviously purple in sector 1 and 2 as all the other guys as well. Now out of Parabolica, playing it safe for now. Just getting a lap in, very important actually, to not get that pressure later in the session. And it's a 49.3, solid. We're also getting very safe. But yeah, the first laps aren't really that representable. They're usually just going safe, having a lap in, to not start at the back. Mick Vega also with a 49.5. I think from now on you will see lap times dropping. Seems like a bit late by Pavel Peter there. Obviously Monza also the toe is very strong, so if you have somebody to tuck in behind on the straights, and we have big problems there for the Porsche of Martin Kunst, spun out of the Lesmos, and also seems like he collided with JC Cameron. Hopefully he can continue. Martin Kunst set himself into the pits. But yeah, if you have a toe, like Marek Pribyl now has, for example, not a very strong one, but at least one, this can really help you with the lap times. So in this championship, for those who don't know, there are teams, so you can team up with people and collect points collectively. And let me just look one up. For example, if we have Aussie eRacing, So the one with Zetek, which consists of Pavel Peter, Ondrej Zetek, Lukas Kozeleski, and Martin Kunst, the Porsche we just saw. While Albert Georgi going for a very special line there. But yeah, if you are in a team like this, you can obviously also play it as a team and just go for towing. I think there's some way on this website where I can see the teams completely. Dick Pfeiffer going purple in sector 1. Currently third. We already saw the Audi of Ivo Beschleber. I hope it always feels so wrong when pronouncing these names because they're probably so wrong anyways. But yeah, got it back to the pits. Daniel Lester, seemingly quick currently, purple in both sectors. See what he can do with it. Follow Pribyl on his fast lap. In the tow of, what is it, Jesse Kamano. Just waiting to get some clean air. You really have to get a balance between having a tow and being held up by another car. So just because you're in the tow doesn't mean you're faster overall. If the guy in front blocks you mid-corner, it's also something to keep in mind. So currently Vic Vega with the best lap time, 1:49.2. Pribyl 100th of a second faster in sector 1. Then it's Peter with still his first lap time, 49.3. Couldn't improve on that one so far, but still 5 minutes, so and he's still on track. Anything can happen. And it's Colin Barker to 1:49.563. Daniel Yassa, Dirk Pfeiffer, and then guy we see here, Marek Pribyl. I lost in the last most a lot, maybe a second. So this won't be his best lap, I can tell you that. Lukas Koszalski in the Audi R8 LMS, old one, on a 150, the first 150, 575 in P7. Then it's Georgi in the Nissan, which could be a very strong car in the race. The Nissan has quite a lot of top speed, obviously lacks cornering speed. But for defending, this isn't really that important on this track usually. You need to be fast on the straight and get it stopped in time. It's basically everything you need here. So that's why probably the Porsche of Martin Kunst will struggle. No lap time set so far. It's a bit unfortunate, so we can't compare it, but should still be. It should still have a harder time than the Nissans or Bentleys, for example. talking about Bentleys, the other Bentley just improved to P10 with the 151 flat. Sorry. So both Bentleys in the top 10 currently. Now 3/10 up Pribyl in sector 1. Now second sector, he lost a lot of time, still 2/10 up. So lost a bit of time, but not too much. And now down the back straight into Parabolica. Also Conway can lose or gain a lot of time. Now onto the exit, take as much exit curb as possible. Or not touching it at all is also valid, because obviously on the curb itself you lose time, so if you just go barely onto it you lose time in the end. And it's not enough for first. Vic keeps pole position, but it's very close. 35 thousandths of a second. Very good lap by him here. See if others can improve. We have some yellows. Orange. All good. Meanwhile, the other Bentley of Komorowski put it into P7. So 2 Bentleys, now P6, P7. Ondrej Zetek, what can he do on his last flyer? Yes, a car in front, but he should be a bit faster. It's Daniel Lastra in front, it seems like. No, it's not. It's a Corvette of Martin Correni. Currently has not set a time. Seems like he is struggling a bit with the car, to be fair. Now through the second Lesmo. 1/10 up in sector 1, not the problem. Currently 1.4 seconds behind Vic Vega. Now 1 second up. Could still be enough for 7th. Oh, and he accelerates too much onto the curb, losing the rear end, and yeah, that was it with his lap. Very unfortunate for him, obviously. Now Correni, can he set a lap time? Plus 1.5 in second sectors would already be enough for 11th. If he just can keep it together now. Now we see the results, we just wait for Correni to come over the line. And it indeed is enough for 13th. But yeah, we got Vic Vega on pole with a 49.2, very strong time. Then on front row, Pribyl, our current championship leader. Pavel Peter and Colin Barker make up the second row, followed by Daniel Lastra and the 2 Bentleys of Dirk Pfeiffer and Adam Komorowski, who's alongside Lukas Kozelski. Then we've got row 5 with Albert Georgi and Ondrej Zetek. Kiri Holland, also one of the championship contenders, in P11, so both chasers in the championship in 10th and 11th. Then the BMW of JC Kamano, Martin Correni, Ivo Beschleber and Martin Kunst, 13th to 15th. Not setting a time, Peterson Almeida, Radim Brzezinski and Milan Kadlec. BMW 4GG and another BMW. But that's the grid for now, the sprint race, 20 minutes. So we should expect some very close and action-packed racing. Right after the warm-up phase, which takes 3 minutes. It's just getting either go to the toilet real quick or just get ready with the car with high fuel runs, feel how it behaves on the start or how it might behave on the start with colder tires and high fuel load. Even though in the 20-minute race it shouldn't be that hard on fuel. We've got like approximately 40 liters, 30 to 40 liters, depending on the car as well. So this is not the problem. For the 1 hour race this will be important. Yeah, just having a quick break, maybe practicing starts, getting used to the car. Can really use this warm-up phase if you know what you want to do. And this might just maybe give you the leading edge over the other racers. One minute to go in pre-warm-up. Also, if you want to join the community and haven't done so yet, in the description you should find a link with the connection to Discord, so you can join the Discord, as well as the Sim Hub link of this championship. So you can sign up for it or just be part of the community if you want to. Mostly Czech people, obviously, but yeah, they welcome basically anyone, as far as I can tell. So make sure to check them out. Also, practicing pit stops might also be important for the main race. I think there's a... Let's check. Only moments from green by now. So now the driver's getting ready, checking the setups, getting onto the grid. Also, I just saw, which is also very interesting with the format. You basically have the sprint race setting up the grid for the main race. And while everyone getting into position, we've got 5 lights. And we go racing for the first time in Monza. Big Vega not having the greatest start, and Pavel Peter having a great jump off the line. Meanwhile, Ondrej Zetek very far off to the side. Yeah, Dick Pfeiffer starting from pits as well as Milan Kadlec. And we've got Carnage, big crash in the background with the Audi and the Z4. So huge issues there for many drivers. The Nissan of Albert Georgi also being spun around. Huge damage to the front of Jiri Orlan's car. I think there's also the Audi, which also has a lot of damage to the front. But at the front, Vic Vega managed to get back the lead from Pavel Peter. Then behind them it's Marek Pribyl, who stayed in third position. And Ondrej Zetek with a huge start side by side with Daniel Lasser now, but still up into 5th position. So huge gains from him, from 10th on the grid. Then it's Adam Komorowski who gained also another position, and the Audi of Lukas Kozelski also gained 1 position. That was a huge wreck into turn 1. Not too sure what happened there. And just having a look there, maybe attacking. Can't see it from here. Very close to Ascari. From 6th to 9th. Colin Barker having a look. He's also still in the championship fight. Even though he's a bit behind. Actually, he's still right up in the championship fight. And now the thing I meant with the Bentley. Just having straight line speed and in the tour of Ondrej Zetek. Will he attack into the first chicane? Seems like he's not getting close enough. He's having a look, and behind them, oh, Koreni just having to avoid. Few collisions there between the Corvette and the Audi. And up front, Pavel Peter getting closer and closer to Vic Vega. Still tucking in behind, also for the chicane, but they keep running away from Marek Pribyl at the moment. But this race obviously also sets the order for the second race, but in reverse. So Vic Vega, as currently standing, would start from the back of the grid, if I read that correct. So it's still a bit of a gap between them, and Lukas Kozelski just going a bit wide there. Oh, nearly losing it on the exit on the curb. Bottoming out, and that allows Colin Barker to just super saying thank you very much. I'll just take it. Now Adam Komorowski just getting closer and closer again. You know, at the back we still have the yellow. Very aggressive on the curbs there. And Pavel Peter just being a bit fast on the straight, maybe due to setup or slingshotting. Even though there wasn't really the one for a slingshot. Except Vic Vega maybe have had a worse exit of the corner. Almeida just seems to be grabbing a lot. Oh, and it's a Corvette. It's a Corvette. Just slipped out of his line and into the Rasmus. But now let's look at the front. Vic Vega and Pavel Peter side by side into turn 1. Vic Vega late on the brakes. Can he get a good exit now? Wasn't the best, but Pavel Peter also hasn't had the best exit. So it's clear for now. There are lots of action going on at the back, it seems like. Got another... Oh, it's the 4GT of Radim Brzezinski now. Waiting there. Safe. Till the road is clear. Seems like Adam Komorowski went off track. Also looks like it from the distance. And Zetek has some breathing room. Something's still happening. Almeida seems to have, disconnected. So huge damage to the back of Ivo Werschleber. And at the front it's still Vic Vega with now half a second of a gap. Currently the close battle on track between Lasser and Pribyl. Lasser being a bit faster, Pribyl around the outside. Just went a bit wide. And back also Komorowski taking a wider line, maybe to be earlier on throttle with this car. As the Audi coming out of the pits. And Daniel Lester on the inside. Can he get it stop? Yes, he can. Can he hang it around the outside? Not quite. Pribyl, good racing by him there. Just cut him off on the exit. You can't do that. Fair and square. So Pribyl remains in front at the moment. But this is now obviously very important for Zetek. And they to touch, and Pribyl has to take a lot of curb, and now Zetek and maybe even the Bentley of Adam Komorowski can go or try a move on the Corvette. Not quite close enough. Maybe Ondrej Zetek also just waits for the Bentley to do a move, and that was very close. But the train from Pribyl to Colin Barker, very tight, I'd say. Got another yellow. Coraini lost control. It's also a very bad spot to be in at the exit of the Lesmos. This also allows Lukas Kozelski to catch up again. Meanwhile, Audi in the background going a bit wide. Last one now. On Pribyl's rear again, and the rear of Pribyl just stepping out there, losing control. Yeah, it seems like Colin is in the pits. Yeah. And now to the outside, Lastra. Maybe just wants to hang it around the outside in the first turn. Oh, he's already passed, and now Zetek down the inside hits Lastra, and Lastra is around. That was very ambitious. Oh, and on the rejoin, Zetek hits the Bentley of Adam Komorowski as well. Now these two standing in the first chicane. This is disastrous for Zetek, I believe. Also, obviously very good for Barker, but and as well as for Pribyl himself, but it was just way too deep into the corner. Well, maybe he just needed to avoid somebody. It's hard to judge from what we've seen, but it was a big F. And Pavel Peter now very close to Vic Vega into Ascari. Obviously, you can't make a move stick here. Oh, and very loose on the front actually, Pavel Peter. But he is the faster of the two BMWs. So I think we will see a move later this race as well. But maybe he just sticks behind and just says, okay, I will take the position in the longer race. But I don't think so. I think it's better for him to just try to get the first place. Now they have 7 seconds to Pribyl. So, yeah. And there's the audio of Ivo Breslaba in the wall. Also a very nasty spot to be in. Can easily ruin your car as well, even with a slight hit. I've had my experiences in this very car. Kozelski also faster than Barker, but just can't find his way past at the moment. But also very cautious currently. Not trying to get too close. Always leaving a bit of a gap. Not risking anything. Which is also a valid strategy. Currently in 8th in the standings and could really use the points. Oh, and now Barker, bad exit. Lukas Kozelski on the outside. Not quite passed into the Lesmo. Brake later, and that was the few meters he needed. Now it's just about keeping it in front. Pavel Peter, 7/10 again. Just too far back. But it's also 9 minutes to go. So approximately 7 laps, I guess. Oh, a few less. Say like 5 laps. And Dirk Pfeiffer starting in the pits, up into 8th already. Currently on to get 7th place. You see Camano in front. Then a big gap in front to Colin Barker, but now in the slipstream you can really see how much more speed the Bentley can have on the straight. Braking late, but just in time. Just easily made that corner, and good move by him there. Up into 7th position. Meanwhile, Lukas Kozelski has a bit of breathing room. Martin Kunst fighting the Ford GT of Radim Brzezinski, both having their problems in this race already. It's still on for 11th position. Look back at the front now, 5/10 between Paul Peter. He's not much faster, he is faster but not much. So it's hard for him to catch up, but in the slipstream the problem is you can quite good counter attack on this track just by making a slingshot move for yourself on the next straight, or you basically just need to either stick in behind for 1 or 2 sectors or half a lap, depending on where you got over to. If you get overtaken on the backstretch, now Pavel Peter to the inside, moves to the outside, that's a very sudden move. You can do that, just if you don't hit anyone. But yeah, this really hurt his braking. And couldn't get it stopped as he wanted, or maybe brake too early even. So rather cost him time, but valid attempt to just surprise your enemy. So good effort, just didn't work out this time. But if you get overtaken on the back stretch, you can easily re-overtake him on the front stretch. And if you get overtaken on the front stretch, you can try it into the second chicane if you've got the speed. That is very car dependent and downforce dependent though. Or you can just try to hang it, stick in behind and get back on slipstream on the back stretch to overtake on the front stretch. So you've really got a lot of options on this track, much like Spa, for example. It's also very similar in that regard. So it's not like, for example, Hockenheim is also very similar to this, but it's not like Nürburgring, for example. Not Nordschleife, this is very different. But Nürburgring, GP, they can't easily counter attack. Not because the track doesn't allow for overtaking and stuff, but if you are the slower car, it's harder to keep it behind, to keep close behind somebody who is faster than you. Because the difference the car's performance makes is a bit greater. But now this time Pavel Peter, very close. Big suck effect. Big Vega moves to the outside. Can defend on the inside and the outside in this chicane. And not close enough and just decides to stick it behind. But Vic Vega misses the chicane, and this means we've got a new leader, Pavel Peter, into the lead of this race. Now can he hold it in front of Vic Vega? As said, he's just slightly faster. But is it enough? It's not that easy to overtake in 2 equal cars on this track. So it's a lot about positioning as well. They both do have a lot of racecraft. And meanwhile, Adam Komorowski and Colin Barker into P4 and P5. Kozelski back into P6. Pfeiffer we already saw into P7, who also has a shot at Lukas Kozelski if he can keep up the pace. Currently a bit faster. On the second per lap faster. Can really see the different lines. Peter taking more easy while Vika just tries to get every 10th out of the car. Oh, and we've got the Bentley of Radim Brashina standing there. Yeah, obviously the guys who are at the back at the moment, it's not very good for them. But they have the advantage in the long race, in the second race. So it's not all done and dusted. If Peterson Almeida is still able to connect, maybe in the warm-up phase, he will start P1. Otherwise, Cadillac, P1, Lustra. What happened to Lustra? It's just tied. I didn't see why, unfortunately. And it seems like Adam Komorowski might try to give Marek Pribyl hard times. He is faster. Who else do we got here? Ondrej Zetek after his crash with, I think it was Daniel Lustra actually. This might just have destroyed Lustra's car. Might be why. But back into P9. Georgi into P10 with this Nissan. Martin Kunst on the Porsche we have P11. Oh, and Dirk Pfeiffer. Because Kozelski has made a mistake. There was quite a gap between those two. And you can also see by the speed difference of the two that he didn't have a great exit, that's for sure. That means Dirk Pfeiffer now into P6. Strong effort by him. Then we've got Radim Brashina on the 4GT in 12th. Riri after his lap 1, turn 1. Not even turn 1, it was before turn 1. Collision with, I think it was the Audi of Ivo Breschlechler. P13 but still running. And P14 to Martin Koeni. Currently the last running car on track. But apparently also on the lead lap. Yep, definitely. And yeah, this is exactly what I meant. Paul Peter just a bit faster. Not much Vigriga can do at the moment. Just has to wait for a mistake. Still got 45 seconds to go. Should be the last lap then. Will be very tight, and Kozelski lost another position. And he is on the verge to lose another one to Zetek. And he is losing another one to Zetek. Is he out of fuel? He is short shifting a lot. His steering isn't offset, so that's not a problem. Oh, but he has... Nah, he might have suspension damage as well. Even if his steering... Because his car just doesn't want to steer anymore. You could really hear the... understeer. But the timer hit 0. Pavel Peter coming out of the last turn. Coming across the line and winning the sprint race. Pavel Peter on P1, Vic Vega on P2, making it BMW 1-2. And then, also now out of Parabolica, Marek Pribyl finishing the podium for the sprint race. Congratulations to him as well. Adam Komorowski in a strong recovery from P8 to P4. In P4. Same for Colin Barker. And then Dirk Pfeiffer from back of the grid up into 6th. It's an incredible race for him. Celebrating in an appropriate manner. Lizzie Kamano silent but very good effort as well into 7th. Ondrej Zetek could have been much more this race, this will probably hurt. He was right on the verge to be in front of Marek Pribyl and then this mistake. Unfortunate. You can just hope that this won't have any consequences on its points tally overall. Into P8 in front of Georgi also had a very good running. And then Lukas Kozelski, very strong race. But in the end just wasn't meant to be. I think it was suspension damage. But yeah. Very unfortunately. Martin Kunst, P11. Radim Brezina, P12. And the last running car, Jordan, P13. Martin Koreni seems to have not... seems to have not finished the race for some reason. I don't know. But that was the finish for the first race. Second race, reverse grid. Which will also be very interesting. So there we also see the results. Fast lap also by Peter. Was to be expected. Just had the pace to win. Close to his quali lap, 49th 2. Big Vega also close to his quali time of 49.34. So now we've got another 3 minutes of warm-up afternoon for this session. So better hope nobody chose some shadows to break. Which some people do sometimes. Don't do it. It's not a good idea. So we see the two leading BMWs coming out of the pits together as well. And not the leading was Cadillac. So we are back. There's no minute to go in warm up. Should continue now. There we go. Second race. The long one, the big one. I think we will see more, let's say, more patient racing. Because now we got way more time to make up positions. Obviously, people still want to try to get us by as fast as possible, to lose as little time as possible. But it's better to take less risks. So, this might end up different. Also, people like Dirk Pfeiffer, who we've seen making a huge progress in first race, or Adam Komorowski. I think those will be very strong. I think Zetek will also make up more ground. Yeah. Milan Kalek leading the pack. And we go green for the second time. Not the greatest start. The audio of Ivo Brasheva had a great start. And this is now very spread out. Also a little bit of touching. Oh, and the BMW completely on the grass. Does he have to go the same? And the 4GT in the background being spun around. Some people stationary. Pfeiffer is rare. Kadlec in the escape road. And up front, Martin Korani fighting Ivo Brasheva for the lead. And also Daniel Lastra, who obviously was very fast in the first race, just very unfortunate. Also in the mix. So this will take probably 1 or 2 laps until this has been sorted out a bit. Oh, I'm a bit wide there. Komorowski already up into 6th. Martin Kunz still in P4, followed by Lukas Kozelski, who, as we've seen, also is very fast. Lastra meanwhile into P2. And now the slipstream wars begin. Oh! Huge crash there for Martin Kunz. That looked also very glitchy. Oh, and Marek Pribyl, huge crash there into the wall. Seems like he has terminal engine damage as well. So that's a DNF for him after such a good running in the first race. Daniel Lastra now going for Louis. It's so much oh, collision between the two of them. This might be even suspension damage. Even on the replay, it looks amplified, so the collision looks worse than it is. Still, this wasn't an easy contact. Pfeiffer up into 11th. Zetek currently not at his pace, or just being unlucky, being blocked in his path. He fell down 1 position, I think. And now Korani and Lastra still side by side. Korani couldn't hang it around the outside. Now Komorowski trying to get around Kozelski. Those two had their fun in the first race already. And Pavel, Peter, and Wegweger right behind each other. With Wegweger trying to do a move. Indeed he is, and he does into Askabi. Huge move by the Danish guy. Now can he keep it in front? Can he use the Z4 of Holland to block off Pavel Peter? Oh, and we've got another collision. Daniel Lastra was in a collision with Martin Korani. Both spun out in the Parabolica. That is huge, and that means Kozelski and Adam Komorowski are now battling for the lead. In the background you see the close fights between the BMWs going back and forth. Oh, and the Audi also being in between the... Oh, what a mess that is. But Vega keeps it in front. Holland is in a lot of places. And this is now important for Vega, as Paul Peter is stuck behind the R8 of Eurobest lever. And still he is not... Oh, huge problems in the back there. The Pfeiffer's involved. Who's now up into 8th already. And we've got the Nissan of Georgi also in the mix here. Oh, and the Audi is going round into the barriers where he stood before. It was unfortunate contact, but inevitable if you go 3 wide into Ascari. You can't do this. Now they try to go 3 wide to the Paragorica. Pfeiffer on the inside. There's contact with Roland and Pfeiffer. Contact with the Nissan. Nissan still going. So Georgi still. And Pfeiffer into the wall. Yeah, with a lot of damage as well. So all of his progress done by just one move. Just too much with 3 people. An opening phase and contact here and there. And meanwhile, doing all of this action, Adam Komorowski became the new leader in front of Lukas Kozelski. And both the Audi as well as the Bender of Dirk Pfeiffer in the pits. Ondrej Zetek, meanwhile, up into P6 due to all of the chaos. Kunst also into the pits. Seems to not find his pit box. So, now that things have calmed down at least a bit. Nothing has calmed down. They're still trying to go 2 wide, at least to Ascari. That's why with better exit. But the Nissan has the most weight and speed. And see just driving away. Oh, and Kouani into the wall there. And yeah, that's his suspension done. You can see simulator cut us what it wants. And now Kozelski back into the lead. Can he hold it? And you see Vega is closing him. So, Lukas Kozelski back into the lead. Vega closing. And Georgi also trying to recover after that incident involving Thierry Roland, who currently is in 5th actually, and Eric Pfeiffer. And again, same spot. So currently it looks very good for Thierry Roland and Ondrej Zetek, because their main rival is out of the race. Like, we won't score any points this race. So at least they can recover a bit from the first race. Maybe even net gain a bit after the weekend. And Big Vega closing in fast. Very fast. Last one also finally passed the interior of Jason Comano after his collision with the other Corvette of Martin Koweni. And Ondrej Zetek, misbraking into the chicane, trying to overtake Colin, obviously waiting for him. So we'll now allow Colin Barker to get past as well though, so loses the position. And these two are always direct rivals. Colin Barker, without the last race, 13 points behind, so it should be equal, all about equal by now. And Hirigolan, 110 points to his 164. And now Adam Komorowski. It's just 10 minutes this race, so there's still 15 minutes to go. So it doesn't matter where you are by now, because there's still 15 minutes to go. And from the looks of it, Dick Pfeiffer also suffered some engine damage because his lap times, even in clean air, are just off the pace by a lot. Talking 6 seconds, 5 seconds. So probably he won't be able to recover from this. And Big Vega down the inside of Adam Komorowski. Good move there. And now Ondrej Zetek overshooting it again. Just too much ambition. And this might just lose him another position. Manages to sweep it out around the outside. Kozelski. Vega managed to overtake him probably again all of the last ones where Kozelski more often had problems. Oh, it's the Audi again. But he is not done by yet. He still tries to stick in behind and maybe try to counter-attack. Now with the slipstream maybe. Actually keeps out of the slipstream. Maybe he has overheating tires, which can also happen on Monza. Oh, and we got the 3-car scramble again. Not close enough. And again his very cautious approach, which is fine. For him, P2 would be probably very fine. But now Big Vega had a bad accident. This might allow Kozelski to swing it around the outside with the more speed he does carry, or at least tuck in behind very close and try to do an attack into the chicane. Not quite close enough. Oh. And he's off. the moment we switch another car. Probably just lost it on the power, it seems like. Obviously, not the greatest thing to happen for him, but just managed to 360 it and then go again. 4th position currently. Pavel Peter now new 3rd. But Adam Komorowski is still keeping it behind Big Vega. And we've got another close. I don't think this will go well. I'm completely honest. Got 6 cars into Ascari. It's the BMW of I just want to say, and this is Kamano off. Huge damage for him. Steering wheel off center. This doesn't look too good for the BMW driver. He's currently for 7th position. Surprised by the straight line speed of the Z4 tournament. Oh, brake too late. Now he has to let him pass. So last try into P7. Can Georgi also profit off of this? It's now the fight of the older GT3s. Was Sheena in P10 currently? Oh, the two colliding second chicane. Bad exit for Holland and now with Sheena. Down the inside as well, overshoots the corner. Holland counter attacks, little bit of contact but should be fine. For GG is a very understeery car even with setups. Very beautiful car, that's to be said, but alright, now what I wanted to do 10 minutes ago, having a rundown on the order. So we've got Vic Vega from second to last to first in 15 minutes. Currently leading the race in front of Adam Komorowski, also had a very strong recovery. A very strong drive to be in P2. And now Sheena seems to be in front. Yes, he is indeed. Pavel Peter also, same as Vega and Komorowski, came from the very far end and up into the podium positions. Maybe he can close up to the guys in front, maybe he doesn't. Currently on pace they are pretty much equal. Then Lukas Kozelski, very strong opening phase, defended his P1 for a long time, then this unfortunate mistake after being overtaken by Vega. But still in P4, followed by Colin Barker, who currently is on a pretty decent pace. So his last lap was actually his best lap, 58. So a 50.868. Guys in front, all except Vic Vega doing a 51.1, 51.1, 51.1, 51.8. So he's currently the fastest out of the position 2 to 5. Then a bit further behind we have Zetek in P6. Not with the pace to catch Colin Barker at the moment, but still P6 would be quite some good points for him, at least to recover a bit. To Marek Pribyl's gain here in the first race. Not enough to get a net 0 or net positive, but still at least some decent points. Daniel Lastra behind, who led the race for a few seconds and then had that collision with Martin Korani in this very place per body car. You can take a look at this car, look at this, if it's crabbing a bit. And it is just a slight bit. You can see the steering is a bit off center to the left, but not too bad. Then we've got Albert Georgi, who also had ups and downs this race already, and it's just third of the way done. Strong opening phase, then the collision involving Himmelan. Oh, and now the next thing, Brezina just plumbing into his back. Managed to get it stopped anyways, but don't want to happen this to happen too often. But yeah, it's unfortunate. And we've got another yellow. It's Koranian, the Parabolica. And a dead engine, much like Marek Pribyl had. Cadillac also retired. So yeah, Radim Brezina also ups and downs, followed by Gigi Roland. I think you can say the same about all of these drivers. Good pace in the beginning, then big mistakes or just being caught up in wrecks. Just too ambitious driving by some people and you get caught off in it. Having a look down the inside. Jesse Camano also having a very decent race, but yeah, as you can see, the car is done. Still surprising to see him carry on with it, but if it's drivable, why not? When he flew off in Ascari in the 6-car train, this also was just a situation. Just couldn't end well with 3 cars or 2 rows. No, other way around. 3 rows of 2 cars entering Ascari. Not the best of situations, to say it like that. Ivo Becher-Leber, currently in 12, also not really had a better race. Spun multiple times in Ascari. Hard hits for him as well. Martin Kunz with that huge wreck on the backstretch right here, where I don't really know what happened. And then Dirk Pfeiffer also with being caught up in the wreck. Maybe he had some folded or maybe not, I don't know. It was very hard to tell from that angle. They just went in 3 wide and it just can't work. It's too much. So currently gaps are spreading, but more than half race distance to go still. Roland also has to let off Radim Brezina. Also, it seems to have huge problems with this car. It's not crabbing, but it's also not doing great. So if you look a bit at lap times, you can still see Vic Vega doing the best lap times of anyone. Not really. Dirk Pfeiffer just put in a 50.3, just a 10th faster than Vic Vega's time. But Vic Vega 50.4, then Adam Komorowski 6/10 slower, 51.051. And another 8/10 slower currently, Pavel Peter, so he's not up. He's not on the pace. Oh, actually, he did a 50.8, so I'm just too stupid to read. So he's 2/10 quicker than Komorowski, obviously. But then Lukas Kozelski settled in on a 51.323. It's also a bit slower, slowly being catched up by Colin Barker, who did a 50.5. And Ondrej Zetek on a 52.0. So top 5 probably quite safe at the moment. Most of the field is then on a 51, high 51. Dick Pfeiffer 50.7 on his last lap. His best lap of 50.012. Now Thierry Roland being catched up by the JC Kamano. This has to be some engine damage. I just can't explain it any. He's just losing it on the straight. Does he come into the pits now? So he just doesn't have any pace left in this car. Well, doesn't seem like he's losing on the straight, actually, just on the exits of corners. So maybe suspension damage. Oh, just one mistake after another, but I can't imagine that. Oh, and the Audi just swooping around and nearly collecting the other BMW of JC Kamano. And this will probably be the end. Yeah, you can see the rear left wheel just pointing, just having a lot of toe in. This shouldn't be. So huge hit for the Audi of Ivo Bracella. Seems to have just like come across him when he was in front. Unfortunate hit to just end the verse, and yeah, that car is absolutely done. Meanwhile, Lastra fighting with Zetek on the outside in Ascari. Will he try to swing it around? You can try, but it's hard. Very close between the two. Oh, and a huge hit between Zetek in the wall, but Lastra waiting. Fair play by him there. So yeah, Martin Kunz also spun. Big Pfeiffer now into 13th. Might actually be a top 10 finish if this continues. So now this is our only battle currently happening on track. Lastra obviously faster. And nearly 2 seconds last lap. So before this lap, not with the incident with the one before. So now playing it very safe though. Yeah, some drivers mightn't be that good at keeping concentration. For some reason. I can't really explain otherwise. It's just like now braking too late. Oh, and then front. Colin, Lucas Kozelski just going into the gravel. Colin Barker now up into P4 because of this. At least if I didn't miss any overtaking, but didn't show any close battles on my HUD. Obviously good for Zetek now because he has a bit of a slipstream, which might help him to defend from Lastra if he can get close anyways. And it would be a few more points for him, which he could need. Oh, and Lastra into the gravel there. Car dinging in, losing a lot of exit speed, allowing Georgi and the Nissan to close in. And Zetek into Parabolica. Clean move there. Up into P5. Got Moish there. Pretty familiar picture by now. Oh, and we've got the first regular pit stops. Seems like. And the last one, Lukas Kozelski. Nearly at the halfway mark. One lap earlier. Here Roland also still continuing with this car. Mano now into the pits as well for his pit stop, just repairing the car. So the server is not set to mandatory pit stop, but there is one, as far as I'm concerned. So don't be confused why there's no graphics showing. Oh, and Lastra actually came out in front of Kozelski in the pit, so he gained a bit of time. Might also just be refueling, because the Audi is very, very thirsty, especially in Monza. So he just might have to refuel more than the Corvette. It's especially apparent in the Bentley. Or if they refueled at all, you don't need to, you see. But the Audi, either you have to fuel safe, or you need to refuel. Got one of those options, both are not great. Now Peter, Vega and Barker into the pits. Means Adam Komorowski, who stays out a bit more. It's now your leader on track, even though he will probably get back into second after his pit stop. Georgi into second place. Orsina into third. Zetek also into the pits. Worth a penalty for Kamano for speeding in the pit lane. Not what you want. Colin also finally coming into the pits. Big Vega now out of the pits. In clean air, it seems like. Peter now following. There you can see the Corvette of Barker booting up. And then in the background you can already see Pfeiffer, even though he's a lap down. Yeah, he is. I'm into 12th position. And Kozelski in the slipstream of Lastra. But now Zetek coming out of the pits, it might really block him from any attempts. Zetek defending on the inside. Kozelski looking to the outside, maybe doing the switchback. I can't pull it off. Komorowski now into the pits. So this virtually should be the fight for P5. And Kozelski just braking way too late. Doing the same mistake as Zetek in the last race. The others two were able to hold their cars steady. So just Kozelski lost a lot of time. But that was very, very close. Just lost it under braking too late, and then having to avoid to hit Lastra, and this just unsettles the rear of this car. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. And then just goes around, basically nothing you can do. And it's the same thing as I think 3 laps ago, but this time goes a bit smoother. And Komorowski is driving again, and he's coming out right behind the lap car of Roland. Actually has to push him out of the exit. There is Pavel Peter. Oh, and Roland pushing him out of the pit. I've not seen something like this. That's also very interesting. So Adam Komorowski, this lost him basically second place. He could have defended that. Big Vega comfortably in P1, but now Zetek. Lastra got in front in the backstretch, but Zetek now into the chicane. If he won't do the same mistake again, no he doesn't. They touch in the mid corner, and yeah. But was okay for GT racing. Now Pfeiffer trying to get 11th position from Holland. who at least has a car that is fixed in the majority of regions. Zetek, very close again. Side by side. Oh, and they hit. Holland is around. Pfeiffer can continue. Seems like the Z4 just over-rotated. Sparker, P4. This race just doesn't go Holland's way. Sheena came out in 9th behind Kozelski. And Adam Komorowski just can't go the exact pace of Peter. He's not much slower, but he's a bit slower. For defending, this could have worked perfectly for him. But can Pavel Peter close in on Vic Vega? There's still 24 minutes to go. 7 seconds, here's Mega. Oh no, Zetek trying it again and again. Just overshooting it. Just not being able to get the car stopped in time. It's tricky with older GT3 cars against newer ones. You can't really outbrake them. And there Holland is being able to get out of the way of Kozelski, who is trying to find his way around Georgi there. So we currently have 3 battles going on. We've got the fight for P2 between Pavel Peter and Adam Komorowski. Oh, and Zetek just out of reach for Daniel Lasser to fight for P5 at the moment. But Kozelski very much up to pace to fight with Georgi. Now already not quite close enough. So on the last lap, Komorowski 2/10 faster than Pavel Peter, and both 5/10 faster than Vic Vega. So they are closing in. Came in, I think, all together. So tires should be the exact same between all of them. Pfeiffer getting closer and closer to his top 10 finish. Because just panicking a bit there when the Nissan braked, because the Nissan has to brake only in the eye, you can brake very late. Because it's just much lighter, has a better weight distribution and stuff, but obviously you don't have the power on the straights. So very cautious approach, which is also fine, but if he wants to get some more points, he just needs to try to go for something. But it's still 21 minutes. So it's about not overdoing it now. And Dick Pfeiffer now into the pits for his pit stop. He was on the pits before to repair his car, but Still needs to absorb his mandatory pit stop. So we'll loosen the position to Thierry Holland. Chickens in the background there. So Adam Komorowski had to let go. A little slide there for Kozelski. Had to let go of Pavel Peter by now. But still P3 very strong. Just looking at the standings. Would this be his? Would actually be his first points, or will be his first race weekend with points. Oh, and Kozelski, very strong move around the outside if he can make it stick. Using a lot of curb. Georgi leaving a lot of space there, fair play by him. But that was a very strong move. Can't easily stick it around the outside of Lesmos. And you also very much have to trust the people around you. This would also be a double, I think a P2 and a P1 for Vega if it stays like it. Currently, Peter is just flying, closing in on him. But yeah, a lot of points for him. Should be 50 points, which would already put him into 11. Oh, and now Kozelski going wide in Parabolica, losing him 2 positions and possibly a drivable car if he hit it in the wrong spot. Is it wobbling? Let's watch. Yeah, but it happens if you... The steering angle comes from the front axle, and here front and rear axle, so the rear left might be dent in, which causes the car to be unstable in the straight and on acceleration. And yeah, the front end just causes you to have a permanent steering lock you have to put on to drive straight. Now Ondrej Zetek is getting closer to last track again. Who also would get a lot of valuable points. He's currently 11th, 48 points, jumping probably a few positions. So very interesting race for some of the standings. And we've got Dirk Pfeiffer collecting his first points in the first of those races in the sprint race. Komorowski collecting quite a lot of points. Getting his first points. That's Pavel Peter also collecting his first points, so would also have a total of 50. Jump a lot of positions. Martin Kunst unfortunately not getting any points. Daniel Lastra from P11, I think I already mentioned that. Cadillac not collecting any points today. There's Sheena on his way to get a few points. And Kozelski also just getting up his points tally to get closer to Julian Strasser. He's currently in P7. Koreni not getting any points today. 6th in the championship. And Georgi will also make up a lot of ground to Kiriolan, currently 21 points behind, but 7th place and another few points in the first race. This would bring his points tally up quite a bit. Ondrej Zetek losing a bit on the throttle. Very interesting. Colin Barker also. A lot of points for him, especially in the second race. Didn't lose a lot of points to Pribyl in the first race, and now with Pribyl out of the race and him in 4th, it would be like, I think 20 or 18 points for him. He makes up on him. But it's still not done yet. It's still 15 minutes to drive. Let's not forget that. So, I'm back again. Should do something real quick. So, Red Brezcina now closing in on Georgi, and meanwhile Lukas Kozelski has parked his car probably not drivable anymore. So it's still 5 onto the 10. Really well done. Back into the points. I think P10 is the last points scoring position, if I'm not mistaken. Might be that I'm wrong. I said I had to prepare everything today. Oh, and that wasn't a disruptor. It was quite a hard shafting of Georgi by Ford GT there. That's very unfortunate for Georgi. I had a very strong running. Just lost him one position in the end, but still could have been much more. So now it's pretty lone running. Vega last lap half a second faster than Paul Peter, who has dropped off quite a bit again. 8.5 seconds. Komorowski slowly but steady losing time to Paul Peter. Colin Barker also just too far back, even if his lap times are good. 16 seconds is a lot for 12 minutes. Daniel Lester. Let's wait for this lap if it's valid. So we have some data. If he can catch Barker. Barker on a 50-on-4 before he had like 59, so still very strong pace. Yeah, Lester around the same pace, so it would be also very hard for him to catch up. On a Zetek 4 seconds off, so he probably also won't really catch up. And for the others, the gaps are way too big. And Brezcina has a disconnect. Very unfortunate, no points for him. This means Georgi gets back his P7. JC Camano with a completely destroyed car. It should be not destroyed after this pit stop, but yeah, very damaged car still. In P8, Colin same, in P9, and Dick Pfeiffer. I just could copy paste the text in P10. At least some points. Currently the only non-point scoring car would be Ivo Berschleber. Was also 80 seconds back on Pfeiffer. It's really a bit fluctuating between Vic and Paul Peter, just going back and forth. Now it's a bit smaller the gap, then again a bit bigger. If no one of them does something huge, either a mistake or a bonkers lap time, I don't think much will change. So the last 10 minutes have begun. Just about getting the car home in one piece, or in the piece it is now for some of the drivers. It was a very chaotic race in some stage, but in the end that's Monza. Monza without some carnage wouldn't be Monza, say it like that. It is a very hard track to race at. It's a very fun track to race. That's something different. But to really gain positions, it's hard because, as said earlier in the stream, you can counter-attack very easily. It's quite car dependent with top speed and stuff. So it can get quite frustrating if you just can't get past the car that just barely, which you are barely faster, but you can feel that you are faster. I think that is was also the case with some of the incidents we have seen during this race, with people just, being too ambitious, being not patient enough to just wait for the opportunity to come, and that just bites them back at some point. It's an unfortunate truth. Adam Komorowski closed in the gap a bit. Vic Vega increased the gap to Peter. I think those are the ones where it can get close again. If Paul Peter still drops off the pace at this rate. And if Adam Komorowski can keep his pace up. As said, it's currently just a bit of lonely running. Dastra now closing in on JC Camano to lap him. 7 cars still on the lead lap. Only 7 cars on the lead lap still. It's rather sad like that. For 1 hour race is quite a lot of lap cars, but the stuff that happened during the race really is not that special. Meanwhile Dirk Pfeiffer the only one driving sub 50, even though Vega is very close, 50.061, 549.809. It's 3 seconds faster than Riolan in front. Should keep an eye on this one. I'm thinking that three laps, yes, this will be enough, but might just be. Kamano's still struggling with the car. That's why I also starting to struggle with the wheels. Even though the Corvette, no matter how used the tires are, is always pretty stable compared to other cars. Go to the outside. Kamano obviously not fighting this one, he's been shown the blue flags. And something happened. Because Dirk Pfeiffer is in 9th. Oh no, he was in 9th before, just my mistake. But somebody is off the leading lap. Is it Kamano being shown off the lead lap by now, finally? Because now he isn't. Bit weird. So let's watch the lap times. Okay, well done. Last lap a 53.29. 53.68. Sorry. Dick Pfeiffer 52 flat. Penn had it's sometimes he gains a lot, sometimes not. Or this lap also with a mistake or a lapping maneuver involved, even though there's no car around him. Who knows? So probably like with this one, 3 laps for Vic Vega to go. And he pretty much has it in the back, 9 seconds to Paul Peter. He can't really get closer. In fact, Vic Vega's exactly 2 faster on the last lap. So if he doesn't bin it by now, or keeps doing those mistakes, should be fine. Adam Komorowski also couldn't manage to keep on the pace with Paul Peter and lost a few tenths. Can't close on. Colin Barker, as said, just way too far back. Daniel Lester doing the same laps as Colin Barker. Zetek also not able to follow Lester, so it just sorted itself out at, let's say, the halfway mark. And from then on it was just gap building. Dick Pfeiffer, as said, the only one who really can do anything. Maybe 7.5, 7.6 seconds the gap. .5 on this last lap, Polano 52.1. And probably won't be enough. He would need 2 more laps, I think. But he's doing the same lap times as the front 2 cars, Vic Vega and Paul Peter. So if it wasn't for that crash, he would have had probably a good fight with them, or at least with the other bender of Adam Komorowski. But the same could be said about Cyril Roland. Probably, if he wouldn't have that much aero damage, because it really, also on the straights, it has a bigger influence in the car. He would be much further up the order, probably. But in the end, that's part of racing. Some things are just inevitable. Sorry, inevitable. Five seconds the clock. Nearly running out of time. This might also be the last lap. This basically is the last lap. If Vega can complete this lap in 5 seconds, I don't know, give him 10,000 VIP or something. But this should be the final lap. Pfeiffer coming over the line to start his last lap. I think he will be the last one on track. Yeah. But Vic Vega through the parabolica out of the last turn. Coming across the line in just a few moments. Vic Vega wins the endurance race, wins the 1 hour sprint in his BMW M6. Congratulations, P2, and then the victory in the second race. Pavel Peter comes home to take a second place. So yeah, two top 2 finishes for both of them. And Adam Komorowski for a 3rd place finish. Very strong podium position for him. Very strong drive. Colin Barker now coming across the line to take 4th. Very important for him in the championship, in the standings. And very strong results in both races. Very consistent. Daniel Lastra, after having this very unlucky starting phase, still the P5, recovered as best as he can. Zetek taking P6, Kamano in between of them, 1 lap down. In P7, and then we've got Ivo Besleba coming in 10th, and then right behind him, 1 lap in front of him basically, Riri securing P8, 1 or 2 more laps, and Dirk Pfeiffer might have been able to do something, but just wasn't quite enough. 2.3 seconds the gap between them at the finish line. And that's the final order. Congratulations to Vic Vega. Fastest lap set by Dirk Pfeiffer in the last stages of the race. Pavel Peter P2. Adam Komorowski P3 running out the top 3, the podium. And yeah, this should really shake up the podium, I think. The final standings in the championship. And this was it for this race. We can take a look at what's coming next. So the next race will be at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg in 7 days at the 11th of September. Again on this channel. So make sure to not miss it. Then we've got the Slovakia Ring coming up, a very cool track, a very underrated track. So might be very interesting to watch this race. And then the mighty 24 hours of Nordschleife. 2.4 hours basically in this game, but 24-hour Nordschleife layout. And yeah, then have a nice evening. And good luck for the next race if you race. Again, in the description you will find the links to SR Leaks and the Discord. And then make sure to follow this channel for more if you are interested. See you around next time. Goodbye.